This is a very simple bill. It's actually got one clause, so there's not a lot to debate about this bill. While it's actually a simple bill, I think it's a very important bill and certainly a matter which is of great concern to people living in rural areas. And based on the feedback I have received from people from my own electorate, particularly when my electorate went as far as the Light River, but also in the electorate which I'm the duty member for of Schubert, this is a matter which has been raised with me on a number of occasions, and this is an opportunity now to correct what I believe is an omission from the Act. And what this bill seeks to do is to ensure that the South Australian Planning Commission has people on that commission with expertise in rural land use or agriculture. At the moment, the Commission, and sorry, before I start, this is not a reflection on the existing membership. The existing membership, I think, are very talented people, but the rules which allow for the people to be appointed to the Commission actually do not include or require people with rural land use or agricultural skills to be part of that Commission. And that certainly the existing Commission has expertise across a broad range of disciplines, including planning, urban design or architecture, and certainly the new Commission Chair has that experience. And I believe that Helen Dyer is an excellent choice for Chair of the Commission. She has a great deal of experience in both local government and in consulting and understands the industry well. There are people with economics, commerce or finance, development or building construction, the provision or management of infrastructure or transport systems, social or environmental policy or science, local government, public administration or law. And these are outlined in Clause 18 of the PDI Act, and all relevant disciplines which should be on the Commission. One area which I think is omitted in the Commission's skill set is people with an understanding of rural land use or agriculture, and certainly that's an important area. Mr. Speaker, it's quite clear that of the increasing importance of the capacity to have very efficient agricultural systems in this state. The demand for food grows exponentially around the world. We need to be able to grow food in this state to make sure that we can actually not only feed our own population, but also make a contribution to the world population. And there are, at the margins, a lot of conflicts in terms of the conflict between urban development and also rural land use. And the reality also is, when the policies are drawn up, there is a lack of expertise on the Commission to ensure that the policies which are actually put in place have a full understanding of rural land use and agriculture. But also it's important to have people understanding rural land use and agriculture, because within the primary industry sector itself there can be conflicts of land uses. And often, if they're not fully understood, what people think you can lump together as rural land uses are in conflict and do diminish one type of activity against the other. And I'm sure people who live in rural areas have an understanding of that. For example, there's sometimes a conflict between viticulture and agriculture. And those sort of things the Commission may not understand, because having people with expertise on the Commission to understand that. And so we need to make sure that planning policies, when it comes to rural areas, are well understood, and having that sort of skill set on the Commission would be very useful. And it's been deliberately designed as a part-time commissioner. This person will be required to sit as a commissioner and influence policy at those times when it's required. When you're dealing with urban development, of course, not required, but once you start to look at the peri-urban and agricultural areas or rural areas, it would be very helpful to make sure that there are people in the Commission who actually advise, who decide the policy, advise ministers, have that expertise and backgrounds. So, Mr. Speaker, that at the moment there is no legislative requirement to ensure that that expertise is on the Commission. There is no prohibition, but equally there is no positive statement saying that that experience and that expertise should exist. And, Mr. Speaker, one of the reasons this is required because planning policy is by its very nature a very vexed area of public policy, and we need to get it right every time. Poor public policy in the area of planning and development can actually have long-term negative impacts on our community, our society, on our economy. So, Mr. Speaker, as I said, Based on the feedback I've received from across a number of people who livelihood is based on rural land use, I think this addition to the Commission will be a worthy one and worthy of support. Mr Speaker, the current Commission, while I think they do a good job and are worthy of the positions, I think it should be expanded to include that experience. With those few comments, Mr Speaker, I would recommend the bill to the House.
Is there a motion to adjourn?